From the clouds of the highest mountains, from the corners of the earth, two men have traveled leagues to bring you. Welcome to the Eagle Boys, Drew Ladd and Nick Huber. Overkill.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Eagle Boys. Once again, my name is Nick.
My name is Drew.
And today we had on Drew Nickens from Kill Tony, a regular at Kill Tony.
What a killer.
What a killer, man. I'll tell you what a killer, dude.
And he was so nice to talk to, very respectful. And we, got to know him.
Got to know a little bit more about him. And, it was just really fun to talk to him just because of, I've watched him on Kill Tony. He's a real funny guy, has real good stand-up. And we're just excited to bring you guys this episode, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you. Drew, thank you so much for coming on. So when I first saw you come on Kill Tony, I thought you were amazing. I was like, this guy is great. Because I've been watching the show for a while now.
I remember your first appearance like it was yesterday, man. I remember I laughed my ass off when you came on, man.
And so when you went back the first time, what did they say to you? Were they like, oh, he wants you to come back on?
So here's what happened. So they were like, hey, wait here. We want you to hang out with us in midseason. I was like, all right, cool. So I was back there watching. And as the guy was going, I was just like, oh, man, he's getting a rough day of it. And then one of the producers was like, hey, this has never happened. Tony wants to know if you have another minute. Like, yeah. And so I kind of was like, okay, let's think of what can I do that's like a minute right now? And I thought of one, and then I was like, all right, let's get ready to roll. And then it was just like, it was like you almost black out on stage because you just do your material. There was no like thinking about it so much. You just it was just like go, go, go. And so it was just like so surreal to like go up on stage and do a minute. And like, I had been waiting for like 10 and a half months. So I was like, this is a fever dream. I didn't think it was real on my way home either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a great drive home. You're like, I just killed it. I got the opportunity of a lifetime. So did that change your whole life? Like, are you going out to like different states? Are you like selling out? Like how did your life change after you went on Kill Tony?
Well, now I'm doing comedy full time, and I live in Austin, and I get to go to the greatest club in the world at the Comedy Mothership every Monday, and I get to see everyone. And I'm getting bookings little by little. I get all the stage time that I need right now, and I've been really grinding. And it has like really changed my life because now it's like I'm a comedian. I could say that I'm a full time comedian, and
that's so cool.
And it's just so like. People don't understand how much your life can change just from Kill Tony because it's just like it's so surreal and there's a lot of really hard work and there's a lot of ups and downs, but it's one of the greatest things that ever happened in my life, and I'm just so thankful for it.
So are you friends with Tony? Do you guys hang out when you go there? Like how does has he mentored you? Has he told you to do anything like off of stage?
We talk a little bit about what I can improve on and what he wants me to work on. We talk a little bit, but it's mostly about what I'm doing in stand up, what I can improve on stage and things of that nature. How to navigate certain things. If I have questions, he'll usually answer them. So it's usually more like he's my guru to a certain extent. Like if I ask him something, it's because I'm confused about how to navigate this stuff because it's a totally different business when you're doing this for a living than when you're just doing this as a hobby. There's a lot of nooks and crannies that you have to cross, and then you have to like to get better. You have to do like these little things.
So what's your writing style like? Do you just sit down in a room and kind of hammer it out, or do you just do it on stage?
So I hammer out a bunch of premises. I'll figure out some premises, and then I'll throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, basically, and kind of see what sticks. And then when I'm on stage, a lot of these places that I go to, I just do the same premise and I'll do different ways of it, and then I'll listen to it on the audio to see where the punches is. If there's a really good punch there, oh, I got a really good reaction there. Okay, I got that in this room, but I didn't get it in that room.
So it's
how can
very
I get it
hands
to
on.
where it's a very hands-on approach and very much like it's a constant process to grow. Like my closer has evolved from what it was at first to now there's like 3 or 4 different pieces on there to make it pop even more. So there's a lot of really interesting things that you can do and figure out. So
Wow.
That's amazing. So as far as like you being a comedian, like you getting into comedy, who like inspired you really? Are there any comedians that you looked up to in the industry that got you into it, or is just something you kind of fell into?
So my idol is actually David Spade. David Spade is like my favorite
Yeah.
comedian of all time.
He's great.
And then, Wanda Sykes, she's one of them. Sinbad, like there's a bunch of different ones. Aziz Ansari, Ralphie May, Patrice O'Neill.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the goats. Even Steinfeld. Another guy that people don't talk a lot about, but I think is a genius, and he's like a totally different style than me. Is Joe Pera. He's very soft spoken and slow, and he's like so different than me. But I love watching him just fucking work. His last special was really, really cool. So it's just like now that I'm into comedy and I listen to it a lot more, the more I'm like, whoa, okay, that's really cool. It's kind of like when you start playing basketball a lot more, you notice the little things, or if you start training MMA, you notice the little things that they do, and you're like, wow, that's crazy to think of that on the spot.
So this is kind of random, but have you talked to? So do they put you back in the green room on days that you're supposed to appear?
So I go to the green room every Monday to see what's going on, and then if I'm downstairs waiting, and if they need me, they'll bring me up. So I do
Okay.
get to be in the green room for a little bit, which is cool. I get to meet a bunch of different people, and
What is
I
William
get to talk
Montgomery
to them.
like?
He is the nicest guy. He's an awesome dude.
I saw
Uh,
that you did a podcast with him. I listened to it for a bit, and I mean, he is such like a wrecking ball. He is so funny. He's like one of my favorite acts. Like I'll watch the whole thing just to see him, and I'm like, this is amazing. Have you talked to Joe Rogan by chance?
No, we've seen each other a little bit, but he's such a busy guy. There's always people trying to. So I mean I've said hello, but I don't really talk to him much because he's always busy and there's always 15 million people around him. But he's a really nice guy, and like William William is so funny. He's so smart. He's on it, and like that podcast was so much fun because we just got to riff and just go in different directions wherever we wanted to go, and it's really fun to see the process in person because him and Casey Rocket are so on their feet.
Oh, I love Casey Rocket.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so cool, and it's magical to see like geniuses at work, and that's what I love to hear.
I've been a fan of the show for like the past like 4 or 5 years, and to see people like you and Casey Rocket just come out of nowhere, and you guys have crazy talent. Like I think it's so cool that everyone gets to like witness you guys like form your act and like form your career. Is there anyone that has like wanted to take you on the road with them or anything? Do you think you're going on tour at any point, or are you still trying to like build things up right now?
Right now, I'm really trying to work on having a strong 20. I can do 30, 35, and when I am on the road and when I'm on stage, it's fun. But right now, I'm really focusing on trying to get the best 20 minutes I can that destroys a room. And I am doing stuff with like Enrique and Heath. We're gonna go do a show in El Paso on January 10th, which is really fun. And like I do stuff with like Rick, and I sometimes we all kind of look out for each other. So it comes and goes, and right now the main thing that I'm focusing on is just doing as many spots in Austin as I can, trying to get 90 minutes worth of stage time a week. Because if I'm doing 90 minutes of stage time a week, there's obviously going to be some progression no matter what I'm doing. If I'm working hard and really trying to think of new material, getting my pacing down, and just really focusing on the little nuances of being on stage, then everything will come together.
Who do you think won the the contest between Rick Diaz and Hans Kim?
It's such a tricky one because I wasn't in the building for the LA Forum one, and I wasn't in the building, and I was in the building for the New Year's one, but I was behind. So where they had the comics were, they had us behind the screen.
Okay.
Because there's a big screen up there. So we were behind, so I couldn't really hear anything that was going on. Because like I was all the way in, because they had us all like scrunched up. So we had to walk all the way down the row. And so I didn't get to hear a lot of it. And so the second one, you could tell it was, I think Hans probably won the second one for sure.
Okay.
The first one was really, really close. I almost think it was too close to call because it was so crazy and everything of that nature. But, you know, I love both those boys. They're both my friends. They're both great people.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it was such a great like thing. It felt like WrestleMania. It had to, because like as a boxing fan, it had that big fight mentality.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch a Canelo Berlanga, like it had that feeling where you were like, whoa, we don't know what's going to happen. We're here for the sport. And I think that was just, it was very magical in that moment because you just felt that big, everyone was like, who's going to win? You never know.
Yeah.
It was just point for a long time. So I appreciate it for what it was. And I feel like they both are great comedians and they did a lot of really cool stuff for Kill Tony in that regard. So, you know, I love them both, and it's a hard one to call.
Most definitely.
Yeah, just the energy of watching it, I was like, "Oh, this shit's going down."
Oh, it's going down. Yeah, it was like you said, it was like fight night, dude. Like the energy was in the air.
What advice do you have to give the people that like want to sign up for the show? Because I want to go so bad. Like that's one of my life goals is to go to Austin, Texas, and sign up for Kill Tony. I would probably be dog shit, but at the same time, like it sounds like it would be a fun thing. Because what if you do good and then all of a sudden, you know?
Here's what I'll say. I would say because Kill Tony is something that can change your life, and there's a lot of comedians that are signing up because they love what they do and they want to put their heart out there. If you're going to do it, do 2 to 3 months worth of mics, focus on your minute, really, really do something. Because if you go up there and you're not trying, you are wasting an opportunity for someone who is hungry and has been signing up for a long time.
Very much so.
And as someone who had to sign up for 10 and a half months before he got fooled, seeing people that you just know when they're like, yeah, I don't have a minute, I just want to be on stage, or I have a minute and it's dog doo-doo and then I watch it 3 or 2 weeks later and it's dog doo-doo, and it's like, man, you took a spot from somebody that could have really, really used it to boost their name up. And so if you're going to do it right. Go to mics. Go suffer. You're going to be last on the list sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna play Candy Crush for 3 hours while you're hearing everyone else work on their act. But you gotta really dedicate yourself and put in the time and really focus on, hey, is this something I want to do? And because if you don't like being on stage, and the first time you're on stage is when there's 300 people staring at you, and you can't form a sentence when you're doing the interview, you should have gotten on stage a couple times to see if you even like that. Because some people don't like being on stage. And they don't know that until they get on stage. So get on stage, work your minute, try to do the best you can, interact with other comedians, try to get in the scene, enjoy comedy, because once you start, you only get to start comedy once. And it's one of the greatest journeys. If you want to pursue it, you'll have it. It'll be amazing. And you know what? You may only have a career for 6 months, but you know what? You'll think about that for the rest of your life.
Oh, definitely.
So I just do comedy, man. That's what I want people to do. Just do comedy. Don't just do it because you want to get on Kill Tony. Comedy is it is one of the most fun art forms that you can do.
Oh, yeah.
And not everyone can do it, but if you can do it and have fun on stage, there's nothing like it. There's no other high than doing great on stage. You feel so good. Yeah, there's some lows. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I bombed on an episode that has almost 25 million views.
Oh, did you really? Which one? I didn't think you've ever really done that bad. Which one?
Oh no, the Biden Trump. I saved it with the dance battle.
Oh,
golly.
No, I thought that was funny.
I was just about to say, I didn't think that was bad.
That was entertaining.
I'm my harshest critic, and that's why I can't look at the comments, because I will agree with them. They don't understand how brutal it is sometimes when you just see the hate, and that's why I can't even I had to block Reddit completely.
Oh yeah,
I'm actually on Reddit. I know what you're saying. People are so mean.
And the thing is when I watch Kill Tony, I have to turn it into landscape mode so I can't see the comments.
They can't see them at the bottom.
I have to watch it.
Yeah,
I have to watch it, but I can't look at what other people are saying. I have to focus on what I can do better. And I think sometimes it gets into your head when you're like, am I supposed to be here? What am I doing? And sometimes you just have to understand that there's people that don't understand how hard and how difficult doing a minute on stage, because it's so when I'm doing a longer set, people are like, oh my God, they're amazed because they see what I'm doing and they're like, wow, it's great. And so doing that minute, and this last minute where I talk about Jesse's play, it was a really, I think my head wasn't in the minute as much because I just wanted to talk about Jesse and talk about everything good that was happening with Jesse's place, because that place helped so many people. And so my mind wasn't in the minute, and I feel like you could feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then because that room, it's so hard to find any laughs. There were laughs, but
I heard some.
And that's the thing. It's it didn't sound as great, but I think, I don't know. It's a very difficult way to navigate. And so I've just been really focusing on what I can do better, doing as many spots as I can, and just really pulling through.
I thought it was good. I think there was a couple. I mean, I'm not a comedian, but just as like a part of the audience, there was probably a couple spots where you could have hit the punchline in a different way. But still, I enjoyed listening to your set. I enjoy you every time you come on. That's why I wanted to. Yeah. I was like, I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah, I was like, we got to have him on, dude.
So no, you're killing it, man. You're doing a great job, and all the people who have nasty comments about you online. Honestly, comedy is probably one of the hardest things you can do. And the fact that you're getting up there and you're doing that, I mean, that in itself is an accomplishment. And everyone else can honestly go fuck themselves. I'm not going to lie.
Well, what I've realized is I think too, and this is just one of the things I've realized. Some of the people who are so negative is because they hyper fixate themselves on Kill Tony, where it's just such a big part of their life that they want their opinion heard. So if they say they don't like someone, they want to vocalize it as much as possible, because if I'm on for 6 months, I did my job. It makes them feel better. So when they're they won't allow lot of that Reddit is a lot of negativity.
Oh, it's awful.
I don't know why. I don't know why you want to be so negative all the time.
I don't get it.
Your favorite thing.
No, it upset me because I mean, there's some good comments as well, but it just upsets me to see how people are. I mean, I think a lot of people do it just because they hate their own lives, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to say something nasty about someone else just to make my day better,
me feel better.
Yeah, make themselves feel better. But I wouldn't worry about it.
There's a guy who does YouTube shorts. I'm not going to say what his name is, but he was so negative about me, and I randomly saw. One time I was swiping down and on YouTube Shorts, and I see Drew Nickens is awful. So instead of getting on him, I just followed him on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And when I followed him on Instagram, he automatically goes, "Oh man, he's such a likable guy."
Oh no!
Flipped his tone.
Knowing that, because I just followed him. I didn't put any message. I didn't send him anything. I just followed just to give him like a hey.
Like a hey, I saw you.
I know what's going on.
Put it on there. And I haven't listened to this.
That's a power move.
But it was just like, I know all those people on Reddit, if they saw me in real life, they'd be like, oh my God,
Drew Nickens, I saw you on Kill Tony. I fucking love you, bro. Like,
exactly,
you know what
I mean?
right. And the thing is they'll do that, and then they'll be a fan once they see that I'm a real person. Because sometimes I think they forget that everybody on that show is a real person.
Yeah, they were
the hateful things that you say, and when you're really fucking negative about somebody, like it can affect you. And I have imposter syndrome a lot when it's like I don't belong in anywhere, and so I deal with those thoughts a lot. And so understanding that I have to understand that there's always going to be negativity no matter what you do.
Oh yeah.
I could save 70 people out of a building and people would be like, but he's still loud. I could save a whole I could donate 50 million and they'd be like, yeah, man, but I still gotta clean my ears out because he's so loud and abrasive. Like they would find something negative.
Oh, dude, you can't worry about that.
Everybody's just got their little comments.
But that's the thing is I'm learning to deal with that, and
I'm sure it's new for you because you're new at this. Like this is all new stuff for you, so it's probably tough for you to.
It's only been like 6 months since my Kill Tony kicked up here.
Yeah.
And it's been the craziest 6 months of my life, So
that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you, man. To see your success and your life change and to hear you talk about it, that is so cool. Like
those are the stories that we love around here. You know what I mean?
Right, because we're trying to
we're trying to make something happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we still love hearing stories like this. But I do have one question because you brought it up. That episode you were on with Shane Gillis as Donald Trump and all that, I got to know what Shane Gillis is like. Like, I love Shane Gillis too. I think he's amazing. What is Shane Gillis like? Is he exactly like you would think? He's
a cool dude. He's a cool, quiet, good dude. Just one of the boys,
One of the boys.
He's just a good dude, like in general. Like anybody in his camp, Lemaire, Sean Guarini, J.D. McCann, Matt McCusker, Tommy Pope, all those boys are just some of the nicest people you'll meet. And comedy is that way too. There hasn't been a person that I've been like, oh man, I don't want to deal with them. Everybody in the comedy world is just really kind and awesome. And that's one of the really surprising things. Like, I love everybody that I've encountered in the comedy world because they're just good people, and you never know who you're going to meet and who's a killer, who's a good soul.
Yeah.
You never know, and it's amazing. So
that is,
I'm just happy to be around the great people that I've been able to.
That's amazing. So we are at 25 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We can keep going if you want, or if you got to go, that's also okay.
If you got one more question, I'll do one more question.
Take it away, Drew.
Oh shit, putting me on the spot. Where do you see yourself going in the future? What's your next plans? Are you still just trying to figure everything out?
What I want to do is I want to be a strong feature and maybe do some headlining road gigs. But right now, I just want to, like, in the future, I just want to keep doing comedy. I still want to keep refining my minutes, keep refining my act in general, and just see where it takes me. Because right now I'm on that ledge of lifetime career and coulda, woulda, shoulda, so that I'm right on that edge. And I feel like I'm working really hard to push myself towards making this a career and making people happy on stage and doing whatever I can to be the best person I can be and a contributed member of society, and showing that there's no limitations if you work hard in your time, because that's what you have to do. Is like, you got to work hard, you got to be kind, and you got to put your focus in the right places, and magical things can happen. So that's all I'll say is I just want to work hard, and hopefully the results put me in a place where I can be the best person I can be.
That was a beautiful last word.
Beautiful way to put it.
That was beautiful. And we really appreciate you coming on.
Yes,
and
Drew. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us today. I know you're a very busy man. And yeah, it's just been more than an honor to be able to talk to you today, man.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day, all right?
Hey, you as well. Everybody, we're going to put all of his links in the description below. Again, he was on Kill Tony. Check out any of the episodes that Drew Nickens was on Kill Tony. He's probably going to be on there again, so go ahead and check that out. We're going to link his Instagram and everything down in the description below. And
on Instagram, in my Linktree, I have a story about Jesse, my little brother that passed away about 7 years ago. And there is a charity managed name called Jesse's Place that helps young adults 18 and 24. They get a place to sleep, they get their own bedding, they get job training, they get medical help and mental health help, and they get them on medications and everything. So it's a really important place. If you ever think of if you have any, oh man, I need to donate to charity, please consider that. Read the articles and everything of that nature. That they always need help on the Amazon list and everything else. So check the Linktree if you want to, and everything else. So thank you all so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to put that Linktree down in the description below. Be sure to check that out and donate to his organization. Drew, again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you later, all right?
Bye. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you all so much.
Have a great day.
Yes, sir.